So, I had someone asking me if it's possible to model this bottle from Hayati in Blender. At that point, I could sense the frustration. She had probably tried a bunch of times and just wasn't getting it right. She showed me a video of what she was trying to do. Basically, she used Ctrl-Shift-B to bevel the vertices, but she just couldn't get enough of a bevel on the edge, the way it looks on the actual bottle. So I thought, why not use one stone to kill two birds? In this tutorial, I'll show you how you can bevel using a non-destructive modeling workflow to create this bottle while also going over some of those little tools in Blender that make a huge difference. You see them all the time. Things like Mark Sharp, Mark Seam, and Mark Crease. What I'll really be focusing on here are Mark Sharp and Mark Crease. Because if you've been seeing these options and have no idea what they're about, this is going to clear that up. Now, there are several ways to model this, but I'm going to use a non-destructive method. I'll start by adding a bevel modifier and then a subdivision surface modifier to keep everything smooth. Next, I'll head into edit mode and drag the top upward to match the height of the bottle. From here, I'll increase the subdivisions on the object. Now, let's talk about creases. While still in edit mode, I'll go over to the Item tab and increase the crease value. Then, under Geometry, I'll switch the profile to Arc, bump up the segments, and just like that, we have a clean bottle shape in just a few seconds. So why this is called a non-destructive workflow is because if I remove these modifiers, we're right back to where we started. Nothing was permanently changed on our mesh. That's the beauty of it. Now, let's move on to what I mentioned earlier, Mark Seam and Mark Sharp. Here's the thing. After modeling, most people go straight to smoothing their mesh, but then you often run into these weird shading artifacts on the mesh. And trust me, we don't want them. This is exactly where Mark Sharp comes in. We won't cover Mark Seam in this video because that's mainly for UV unwrapping, and we're not diving into UVs in this video. Instead, let's focus on Mark Sharp and Mark Seam to keep this video short. Here's what it does. Mark Sharp tells Blender, especially when you're using the Edge Split modifier or Shade Smooth, to not smooth past that marked edge. It essentially keeps those edges crisp and defined while everything else remains smooth. Let me show you. I'll go into Edit mode, select my edges, and apply Mark Sharp. Notice now how we've got clean, sharp corners instead of those odd shading glitches. So in short, Mark Sharp is Blender's way of saying, keep this edge sharp, don't smooth beyond it.
Now, what is Mark Crease all about? Let's find out. Mark Crease works specifically with the subdivision surface modifier. Let me show you. I'll add a subdivision surface, and right away you can see some shading artifacts. These little irregularities often show up when previewing a model. Now, I'll head into edit mode and use the same edges we marked earlier. This time, I'll press Shift-E to add crease. As I increase it, you can see Blender respecting those edges, keeping them sharp while still applying subdivision everywhere else. So in short, Mark Sharp works with shading. Mark Crease works with subdivision. Both help you control how your geometry looks without permanently altering the mesh. So that's it for Mark Sharp and Mark Crease. I hope this clears things up and helps you take more control over your models. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.